I spread my arms wide with a sharp knife suspended under each armpit. Then, while lifting 2 buckets of water, each weighing 100 pounds, I needed to walk up a 90-degree slope and pour the water into a ditch at the top, letting it flow down into the pool below. This was no easy task because I had to maintain my balance the entire time and keep my arms outstretched. If my arms dropped even slightly, the 2 blades would pierce me. At first, I hadn't mastered the technique and could only wobble my way to the top of the slope with the water. To learn martial arts as soon as possible, I started carrying 500 buckets of water every day. After several months, I stood out among my fellow disciples. Now, I not only carried the 2 buckets at lightning speed, but even had energy left over to help my fellow brothers. Seeing me helping others, the master immediately stopped me. During training, you must never help your fellow disciples because it will only prevent them from ever achieving anything in their practice. I felt very uneasy hearing this. After the master approved of my performance, he ordered me to proceed to the next level of testing. At this stage, I was required to stand between 2 lit candles, and my eyes had to follow the flames as they swayed left and right. But during this process, my head could not move even slightly. This was meant to sharpen my mental discipline, and I was confident about it. At first, my eyeballs could barely follow the candle light. However, when the abbot suddenly picked up the pace, I couldn't help but move my head and got burned by the candle. The abbot warned me that my head must never move with my eyeballs and ordered me to try again. I refused to give up and stepped forward to try again. This time, my gaze became sharp, and no matter how fast the abbot accelerated, my head remained absolutely still. Seeing this, the master smiled with satisfaction. Next came a new test, but the training method was truly puzzling. I needed to focus completely on listening to the master strike the wooden fish. Every time the abbot struck the wooden fish, I needed to swing an iron hammer to strike the large bell. When I first heard this order, I was rather dissatisfied. I felt this kind of training was a complete waste of time, but unexpectedly, the moment I picked up that iron hammer, I immediately realized how difficult it was. It turned out this seemingly ordinary iron hammer had a hidden trick. Although the hammerhead itself weighed only 10 pounds, it was tied to the end of a long, flexible bamboo pole with no leverage point whatsoever. Lifting it felt like it weighed 120 pounds and I had to use only one hand. As a beginner, I could initially only grip the bamboo pole at less than 1/10 of the distance from the hammerhead to barely lift the hammer, but after just a few swings, my wrist was completely exhausted. I looked at the master who was still striking the wooden fish and a competitive spirit instantly surged in my heart. I grabbed the bamboo pole and continued striking forcefully until my wrist became purple and swollen. Several months later, I could firmly grip the end of the bamboo pole and, keeping pace with the abbot's increasingly rapid rhythm, swing and strike with powerful force. At this point, I had passed this test. The abbot not only promoted me to overseer of the scripture pavilion, but also allowed me to enter the final test. This test was to defeat the master. I swung my staff and launched a fierce attack, but after just a few moves, I was easily defeated by the master using only a small knife. Though discouraged, I was not the type to give up easily. One day, when I accidentally broke a bamboo stick into 3 sections, an idea suddenly flashed in my mind. I connected the 3 sections of bamboo staff together, transforming